Most people are using ChatGPT completely wrong. They type something like, give me 10 YouTube video ideas. ChatGPT will give them 10 painfully generic ideas, and they think, yep, AI isn't that impressive. But watch what happens when you change the way that you ask these questions. Instead of asking for 10 ideas, tell the AI what job you want it to do. Give it some context and make it ask questions first. Suddenly, the ideas are completely different. And that's the thing that most people don't realize. Getting great results from AI isn't really about finding the perfect prompt. It's about knowing how to work with it. So today in this video, I'm going to talk you through 4 simple habits that completely change the quality of the answers you're going to get. And I'm going to actually talk you through some working examples that you can do alongside this video. So by the end, you'll have a simple system that you can use pretty much every time you open ChatGPT or any other LLM. So let's start with why this happens first of all. Now, most people use AI like Google. They ask one question and they get one answer. And they're done. But that's not really how you get the best out of AI. Imagine you've hired someone to help you with something. You walk into the office and say, help me with YouTube. They're going to look at you and think, okay, but with what? Do you want more subscribers, better thumbnails, more views, a video idea, a content strategy? They don't know. And AI has exactly the same problem. The quality of the answer is heavily influenced by how clearly you've defined the job. Which brings us to the first point. Give it a job, not just ask it a question. Now, this is probably the biggest change you can make. Don't just ask AI a question, give it a job to do. Now, there's a huge difference between asking, how do I grow a YouTube channel, and typing in, you're a YouTube growth strategist and I'm running a gaming channel. My goal is to reach 10,000 subscribers. Can you analyze my situation and give me the 3 highest impact things I should change first? Same AI, completely different instructions. The first one asks for information. The second one gives AI a role, a goal, and a specific task. And that's what you want. Think about hiring someone. If I hired a professional video editor and just said, edit this, I'd probably get something okay. But if I said, you're editing this for YouTube, the first 30 seconds needs to maximize retention. Remove anything repetitive, tighten the pacing, and make sure there's a reason to keep watching every 20 to 30 seconds. Now they know exactly what they're doing. AI works in a very similar way. So what I'm going to ask you to, I'm going to ask you to open up ChatGPT or Gemini or whoever it is you use, and just type in, give me 10 YouTube video ideas for a gaming channel. Look at the answers. It's not necessarily wrong, but you'll find it pretty generic. You'll get things like top 10 games you should play, best gaming moments, gaming tips. Now there's nothing particularly wrong with them, but there's also nothing particularly interesting either. Now I want you to change that instruction. Now I want you to type in, you're a YouTube strategist specializing in gaming channels. My goal is to create videos that attract viewers who don't already know my channel exists. Give me 10 video concepts based around strong curiosity, conflict, or a challenge rather than generic gameplay. For each one, explain the hook on why someone will click it. Now, look at the answers you get. Suddenly, we're not just asking AI to generate ideas. We're telling it what kind of ideas we're actually looking for. And that's the important part. You don't need some 500-word ultimate prompt. You just need to make sure AI knows who it's supposed to be, what you're trying to achieve, and what exactly you want it to do. One warning though, don't fall into the trap of thinking, I'm going to tell ChatGPT or any other tool, it's an expert in everything. That's not the magic. The role without a task is basically decoration. Role, context, specific job. That's where things start getting useful. Now here's the second mistake people make. They get an answer they don't like and immediately start a new chat. Don't. Keep going. Think about working with a designer. They show you the first version of a logo. You never turn around and say, that's terrible, goodbye. You say, I like the direction, but can you make the logo simpler? Or can you make the text bigger? Actually, can you go back to the previous version and make it more premium? You're refining, and that's exactly how you need to use AI. So again, bring up ChatGPT and type in, write me a YouTube intro about why people use AI badly. ChatGPT is going to give you something, 200 words long. And again, it's okay, but it might be too formal. You don't need to start again. Just say, cut this to 80 words, or make it sound more conversational. Make the sentences more provocative. Give me 3 different types of versions of the opening. Now you're working together, and you'll notice something important. You didn't need to write the perfect prompt at the beginning. You just steered the answer towards what you wanted. That's the one biggest mindset change I think people need to make when it comes to AI. You don't have to get everything right on message 1. Message 1 is what gets you moving. The next few messages is what makes it good. And this is where AI becomes more powerful than the normal search engine. Search engines are there to give you information. AI can take that information and keep working with you until it becomes useful. So if the answer is too long, ask it to make it shorter. If it's too formal, make it conversational. If it's too complicated, explain that you're completely new and you need a dummy's guide. If it's not specific enough, give me 3 concrete examples of where this works. Don't restart conversations, steer your conversations. Now, this third point might actually be my favourite. And if you're really struggling to explain what you actually want, don't explain it. Tell AI to interview you. Think about a good consultant. You don't walk into their office and magically know every piece of information they need. They ask questions. What are you trying to achieve? What's your budget? What's your deadline? What have you already tried? Suddenly the problem becomes much clearer. Well, AI does exactly the same thing. Now, let's say you want help starting a business. You could spend 10 minutes writing a massive prompt explaining your situation. Or you could simply say, I need your help in planning this properly. Don't give me an answer just yet. Interview me first. Ask me one question at a time until you have everything you need, then create the plan. And now AI starts asking questions. What's your goal? What's your budget? How much time do you have? What experiences have you got? Who is the target customer? And every answer you give will give the AI more context. And by the end, you've effectively built the prompt together. And there's another benefit here. Sometimes you don't actually know what information matters. AI can expose these things that you hadn't even thought about. And that is incredibly useful. However, there's one mistake to avoid. Don't answer its questions with, I don't know. If you genuinely don't know, just say that you don't know, but give it something useful. So instead of, I don't know who my audience is, try things like, probably men between 20 and 40 who like gaming, but I'm not 100% certain. That at least gives the AI something to work with. And if you are really stuck, ask it to give you some options. Give me 5 possible answers to this question and I'll tell you which is the closest. Again, you're not trying to write the perfect prompt. You're having a conversation. The last one is one I really, really want you to remember. Okay. Most people ask AI for the finished answer. Don't always do that. Ask it to work through the process and that produces you the answer. What I mean by that is, instead of give me 10 viral YouTube ideas, try something along those lines. First, identify what makes a gaming video clickable to someone who doesn't know the creator. Then identify 5 content gaps that generate 10 ideas based on those gaps. And then finally rank them by potential. Now that's a completely different instruction. You're not asking AI, give me ideas. You're asking it to think through a framework before giving you the ideas. And this works for loads of things. Don't ask, write me a business plan. Ask, first identify the biggest risks in this business idea. Then identify the assumptions that need validating, and then build the plan around what survives that analysis. Don't ask it to write you a video script. Ask it to identify the target viewer, their biggest curiosity and pain, and the reason they'd click. then build the structure around maintaining that curiosity. You're changing AI from a content generator into a thinking partner. Now, the biggest test here is I want you to put all four together. So let's say you want to start a YouTube channel. The bad version, as we've already established, is how do I start a YouTube channel? That's it. Now let's use everything we've just learned. So, step one, give it a job. You're a YouTube strategist specializing in helping small creators grow from zero. Step two, let it interview you. Before giving me advice, ask me questions one at a time to understand my goals, experience, available time, and budget. Step three, let's iterate on that. So once it gives me that plan, don't accept it immediately. Tell the AI that it's too generic and to make it more specific to gaming or whatever it may be. Tell it that you only have 5 hours per week and to rebuild the whole plan around that. And step four, ask for the process. So finally, I want you to type in, before recommending my first 5 videos, analyze what would make each one clickable to someone who has never heard of me. Now, look at what we've managed to do here. We haven't found some secret magic prompt. We've simply changed the way that we're working with the AI. We're giving it a job, we're letting it ask questions, we're refining the output, and we're making it show us the thinking process behind the recommendations. That's the difference. If I want you to remember and take one thing away from this video, I'm actually going to put the master prompt in the comments below so you can see it and pin it. But effectively, I want you to save it because it's something you can use time and time again with any AI. But effectively, the prompt is going to say, I want you to help me with whatever task it is that you want to put in. First, ask me questions you need to fully understand what I'm trying to achieve. Ask one question at a time. And once you have enough information, explain the approach you're going to take before giving me the final answer. Then give me the answer. Afterwards, critique your own answer and identify anything that could be improved. Then give me the improved version. You don't need to use the exact prompt every time, but what I want you to do is I want you to use this. What we're doing is we're making AI understand, plan, answer, critique, and improve. That is a much better workflow than ask, copy, done. So, quick recap. Number one, give AI a job, not just ask it a question. Tell it who it is, what you're trying to achieve, and exactly what you want it to do. Number two, iterate. Don't throw away an answer because it's not perfect. Tell it to change. Number three, let AI interview you. If you don't know exactly what you need, make it ask the questions. And number four, ask for the process, not just the answer. Get AI to analyze, plan, and critique before it gives you its final result. Once you start doing those 4 things, AI becomes a completely different tool. And the funny thing is, you don't necessarily need better AI. You just need to get better at working with the one you've already got. So, I want to know, what is the most useless answers you've ever received from AI? Please put the worst ones you've got in the comments. And if you want, I'll take some of the worst examples and show you how I turn them into genuinely useful prompts in the next video. But if this has helped, hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.